Okay, so you have everybody who's here and we have nobody else online. Citizens petitions, I assume we have none, so we're on to approval of the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
They're approved. Okay, communications and bills, I assume we have none. Reports, consultant, changes to sewer use, attorney's report. You can let me know if we have any of those, and otherwise we're on to the public works.
Just a couple updates on positions. The mechanic trainee position was not offered to a couple people, or one backed out, the other one was not suitable, so that's back out being advertised. And the lab tech, we did get the MOU with the union so that training will be, they can get it within 30 months of data hire. So that's being advertised now. So hopefully we'll get some.
So there's some
candidates.
that somewhere posted that they don't have to have that
Correct.
certification.
Yep.
Great.
And what was it that you had one that you offered? And which one was it?
The mechanic trainee.
Okay.
Mechanic, yeah. For the on-call engineers, I think I don't know if it was last time I reported, but we received 9 submittals. The panel, which consists of town staff, shortlisted that down to 6 to interview. We're having those interviews on Monday and Tuesday. And based on those interviews, we'll probably select 3 or 4 firms to have a contract with for on-call services. That's all I have to report.
Okay, any questions? Oh, then we're on to the WPCF.
Well, just the data was done pretty well on the treatment process, really well on nitrogen removal.
Can I ask a question? Where does the sludge go?
It gets hauled to an incinerator in Cranston.
Actually, I have a question that neither of you can answer. So I'm just thinking, there's been this big controversy in East Lyme over being able to construct a new development, and there's not enough sewage capacity under their agreement with New London and Waterford and stuff. So a while back, when the proposal for the oral school was underway, it was said that there wasn't any problem accommodating that. Do we have some reasonable additional sewer capacity if there were to be because the town, various reports keep saying we need several thousand additional housing units in order to accommodate potential workers. Not that that'll necessarily ever get built, but I'm just wondering if we're likely to run into an issue like East Lyme has.
I mean, the plant is designed for 7.5 MGD. We run about 3 average.
So we have a lot.
So we get a lot of capacity at the plant. The problem is the collection system, the pipes that are that would become undersized if you added all this flow to it. Then you can do hold it, release it off hours, things of that sort. But we did have a consultant look and model the piping system from that Mystic Education Center project, and it was not going to cause any issues, that particular project. But we do keep an eye on if something large comes in.
Okay, but that was fairly large. I've forgotten now, 500 units or something along those lines. Okay,
We're primarily concerned with our collections, the piping and the pump stations.
okay, I just wanted to make sure because I'm reading all these stories about East Lyme. So I don't have a chair's report, so I guess we're on to old business and an update on Beard and Mystic Cheese.
Yeah, well, happy to report that the RTM met last Wednesday, March 8th, and they approved all the town ARPA projects. So I did send an email out to Beard and Mystic Cheese, just letting them know that, you know, they got their funds. I think Beard was like 86,000 or something like that, and Mystic Cheese is around 25,000 or something like that. Told them that, you know, based on the attorney's letter, it was 90 days from March 8th, so that's June 6th, and so
June 6th, by June 6th, they have to, refresh my recollection. What do they have to do? Give you a proposal as to how they're going to deal with the situation, or actually deal with the situation?
have it be dealt with.
Okay.
Yeah,
They should be up and running by June 6th.
yes, they should have their flow meters in and sampling stations and all their side streaming going on. So I told them to keep in touch, and, you know, maybe like at the May meeting or something, see if they want to come in and give you guys an update on where they are.
Great.
And they were cheerful and receptive.
Oh, I didn't
They
ask him yet.
respond.
Well, they said, oh, they better get going. Hopefully the check's in the mail soon or something.
That's good, sort of good news.
Yeah.
I mean, it's-
Yeah.
we may actually get to stop talking about it and go eat there.
Okay. And have you tried to do sampling again?
We weren't able to do any more sampling.
Okay. Again, hopefully that, I mean, that one looked an awful lot better, so hopefully that was real, and the additional changes they'd be making will improve it further, but it's still, you know, uncertain whether they could still end up with some substantial charges from the additional charges. We'll just have to see, so. Okay. I guess we're on then to revising town ordinance section 15 utilities, and did y'all talk about that? Have any thoughts on?
We did kind of take a look at it. Harry had some thoughts on some of the discharge limitations he wanted to update. There's also the FOG, which is the fat oil grease, you know, we have a new state program, so we want to kind of go through and revise that. There's a bunch of administrative things like the lead joints in the pipe, the asbestos cement pipe, and you know, they call it DEP, so DEEP now. So there's a bunch of those things we could revise pretty quickly. You know, we've got the industrial surcharge limits, obviously, and then also temporary sewer plugging and billing suspension. You know, that seems to be kind of an issue when people renovate their houses, something seem to come. So we want to kind of address that, some of the limitations that are in the ordinance there, kind of clarify the process. And same thing with grinder pumps, is how, you know, the town supplies, it doesn't supply grinder pumps in certain instances. So I'm thinking 3 to 4 months, we could probably go through and revise it. But then you'd go through you guys, and then by the time we get to the council, it'd be like September, October, and then it's probably 2 or 3 months process to go through public hearing, the RTM. So it's probably the end of the year.
How are you, at the moment, I take it that you're just sort of putting down your thoughts. You haven't got the lawyer involved until you, so you can tell him what it is that you want done. Okay, that makes sense. Plus it saves money.
Yeah. You know, if we do most of the writing, he just looks at it, it's a lot cheaper than having him to. He's just gonna ask me, what do you want to hear anyway? So.
Right, but he's got to phrase it in a legal,
Yeah,
legal way.
Yeah.
Something I was gonna ask. Would it be helpful to give some sort of heads up to the town council that they'll be seeing this, or that's probably not?
No, once we get it moving along, we'll it'll be a referral to the committee of the whole, and we'll have to go and explain it, because we'll have a million questions, and we'll set a public hearing date. And,
So there'll be public hearing I don't understand how the town council and the RTM even work, so. Will there be just one public hearing for one of them or for both organizations or?
Believe it's just the council.
Right, I think that's the case. Then it goes to the RTM. I think in theory, what the RTM can do is veto it.
Yeah, they have to have
Yeah.
a 2/3 vote to veto it.
Right.
Other than that, it passes.
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anything else you want to add, Harry, to that, or?
You want to?
Yeah, to review that and.
No, I've looked at it and I've changed. Whenever we're ready for that.
So we'll start working on that, get the draft vision together.
because again, you know, I mean, come June, potentially if Mr. Cheese or, I mean, we could, or Beard, if, you know, we could potentially extend things if they're underway and, you know, there are legitimate reasons why they're not able to complete the work, but at some point, we potentially would end up needing one or having to decide whether to implement the charges. And we did vote last meeting to change those limits, the 200 and 300, whatever it was. So anyway, we have a bit of time here, but again, I guess around May, if we hear an update from them, we'll need to sort of see how we're in sync between that effort and revising the ordinance. Anything else?
On that, no.
Okay, then I guess we're on to new business. Somerset Drive discontinue sewer billing.
Right, this is a property that burned.
This is the one we talked about a couple meetings ago?
We did,
Okay,
and
okay.
I mean, I got another request for that, and just would like to see if that's something we could remove the charge from. Recharge from that.
So can you remind me what
So-
I think it either hadn't been closed off or it had been?
It hasn't, but the house is burned and there's no unfit for occupancy.
Right.
So, and I know they're trying to clean up square away the disposition of everything, so.
As far as when insurance is involved, it takes forever.
Yeah, so, I mean, if it's, if we could cease billing.
There's nobody there, right?
There's nobody there.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, I move that we discontinue the billing on the Somerset Drive and ask you to get back to us when it's time to reinstate it.
Okay, and would that cover the back charges? Because this occurred quite some time ago, I think, late last year. So there's a couple of quarters, or
Did they pay them or are they owed?
they haven't yet.
Okay, well, I would then amend my motion to excuse them from paying back charges.
Reading seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
Aye. So it's passed unanimously. So you'll figure out the dates as of for the
Right, yeah.
billing to discontinue. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so the next item of business is just to double check April 11th is our next meeting and that everybody can be here. As far as I know, I can be.
Just take a look at the calendar. April 11th looks, no, that's the day after, well, 2 days after Easter.
Mhm.
It's okay with me.
Okay, so we're good with that date. Again, it's just because we need all three of us. to have a quorum.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And I guess sometime, let's see, May, June, we get into the saying the rate.
Yeah, usually in May we'll have a draft, and then in June we'll have the public
the
hearing.
public hearing in June, so April will probably be a quiet meeting, but May and June will become relatively important in terms of quorum. Okay, anything else? Somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
And we're all in favor.
Okay.
That had to be the fastest meeting we've ever had.